Day 32 in our bunker. That's 4 feet by 4 feet. A perfect square. Okay, it's actually definitely not 6 feet by 5 feet. Whatever. Hi, everyone. This is our bunker, aka under our very tall beds. So we thought that it'd be really cool to do, okay, I don't know about cool, but interesting to do a video about what it's like to be a college student right now during the nationwide quarantine. Fun fact, I made this hat. Okay, I'm just gonna take it off now. So hi everyone. We figured we'd tell you a few things about what it's like being here in college right now, because I wanted to. Some things, you get to make things. You have a lot of time to make things. Like this hat. Also, you get to, we've been finding stuff because, well, let's backtrack. So, many people have been leaving. We found out about it through an email, and, well, we actually found out about it in person because we were supposed to be going to Kenya, and the 6 hours,
school.
Yes, for like classes, and 6 hours before we were supposed to all meet up to make sure we were all ready and start driving to the, I almost said Phoenix airport, we got a call from our professor saying it's canceled because Trump came on the air and said no. And he put out travel bans that technically didn't start until the day after we would have left, and would have ended before we came back. But the school was just really too nervous about it, so we couldn't go.
Just to be clear, the travel bans were not for Kenya or Nairobi, which is where we were going to. They were for Europe and the European Union, and we did have layovers in Frankfurt, Germany. So the fear was that we would get stuck in Germany.
Yeah, and it was possible that something like that could have happened because Germany very soon after closed their borders, and then so did Kenya, but a lot of people did this because that's what the US did, and it was very frustrating.
It was also frustrating because when we went to leave, there were no cases in the entire continent of Africa. Later on, there would be, 3 cases? 4 in Kenya?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 in Kenya, but they were all Kenyans that were returning from London.
Yeah, and they were quarantined in the Nairobi airport. We actually also knew, well, we didn't know at that exact time, but eventually we learned that it would be a possibility to fly there and be quarantined for 2 weeks in Nairobi. And literally every single one of us said yes.
Oh, the students.
Yeah,
Every one of
sorry.
the students said yes.
Thank you for clarifying.
And we were supposed to be there for 7.5 weeks, so that's still quite a bit of time, and now we're doing classes exclusively online, so as long as we had Wi-Fi connection in quarantine.
Well, we also would have had our professor in quarantine with us.
That would have been fun.
I guess just moving forward, people are just up and leaving, and it's very sad. Almost all of our friends are gone, so we're sitting here alone annoying each other instead.
I mean, that's
in our bunker
usual for us, but now we don't have a choice.
We've been talking about this quite a lot, not just with each other, but also with our class over Zoom. And, we came from Green Mountain College in Vermont, and it closed down, and we all had to leave. And the last few weeks of the college's life, people were just slowly leaving early, and then all the way through to the end of the semester. And just, you slowly see people packing up and just going, and not everyone said goodbye, and there's a lot of people that we probably won't see again. And then again now, during this, it feels very similar to that, and it's really upsetting. I know that this college isn't closing as in shutting down, but it's closing,
Is it?
Yeah, as of right now to not spread the virus, which is great, and I'm glad that we're all taking a stand. But it hurts. It's very sad to see this again. Although, at least we will all be back in the fall.
It's very interesting to me. Casey and I are pretty active in the community, and we're just constantly getting email updates from not really businesses that we've dealt with on the internet or anything like that, but additionally businesses that are here, the farmers market, the co-ops.
Natural grocers.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to see how different companies react to this in light of their mission statements, and it's really great to see an overall community focus on pulling together rather than leaving and hiding from each other, which is what we're being told to do. But I'm really wondering if there's some higher authority that's telling businesses to send out a response, because I don't think there's one email list that I'm subscribed to that I haven't gotten an update from.
I don't think it's any higher authority. I think it's definitely each business itself not wanting to lose its valued customers in this time.
It could be.
Especially because they'll think back on this, and there's some companies that are in competition with other companies, and so if you're in this competition and you think back to how well the companies have treated you, and you think back to this like quarantined time of our lives, and you think about that, it's you would stick with them because you remember what they did for you. You remember how they spoke to you, how they acted toward you. So I don't think it's any higher authority, but I think it's just kind of domino effect.
I guess if the businesses are closing, they don't have anything to do except sit and think about the outbreak, so they might as well write out emails.
Yeah. But other stuff about being specifically being a college student, because that's what this is supposed to be about, and we're going off on tangents. As we said, people are just up and leaving. We can show a clip right now of what the outside looks like. And so basically, as you can see this clip, we've been finding a lot of things, and this necklace is one of them. And it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. And there's some other stuff, too, that we found that is not in our bunker.
We normally have a free box right outside in this area that we now live in called The Village, which we have free emergency housing right now. That's why we have this massive double room that our bed can be 3.5 feet off the ground. But the free box is overflowing because everybody's driving home because of the risk of air travel. So they're ditching as much stuff as they can into this pile. We found a Copper Chef pan, which I remember was $60. We used to sell them for when I worked at Bed Bath & Beyond. I found smart wool socks full of burrs.
But still good.
Yeah, something called a Pound Plus bar of chocolate from Trader Joe's, which I'd never seen before, and Casey could have it, which was amazing.
It's freaking humongous, and like this thick, and it's fantastic. It's dark chocolate, but it tastes so good. And
Yeah.
I have a sweet tooth, so you can trust me on that.
It's not too sweet either. It doesn't make my teeth hurt, which most chocolate does. And we found 2 tarps. Keep finding a bunch of food outside.
We also found really good baking ware, the really expensive kind. That's like the non-stick and all that good stuff. We found the cupcake thingy, cake tin, and like a little loaf pan.
Yeah.
And those are all the really good non-stick expensive ones, so I'm excited.
I also found this lamp that we're using for this video right now, but we're probably going to jettison that before we leave for the summer because we're working on assembling a new camera rig, assuming society doesn't collapse before May. And we also found a new microphone stand, which I don't know which one we're going to keep, our old one or the new one, because they both have different shapes and different applications. It would be nice to keep both, but when you live in a trailer and you're on the road all the time, that's one of the compromises that you have to make.
Yeah, the new one is cool though because it makes you feel like a rock star.
Yeah, it's an actual microphone stand. The other one that we have is a
Hooks.
Hook and spring, so you can latch it onto things.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna end up keeping our old one.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have the new one while we can.
Mm-hmm. We also are continually getting updates from our college about the response. Initially, it was we're keeping an eye on the virus, and then it turned into you may want to exercise caution around others, don't come to class if you're sick, and then eventually it turned into you can take classes online if you want, and now we're in probably the last or second to last stage when they're offering emergency housing to students whose courses got canceled. You get your course fees refunded to you if you want. You get your housing refunded to you if you want to leave. You're allowed to leave. 100% of classes are online. This morning we got an email about the library closing. They're still renting out materials and books. However, you're not allowed in the library if you're symptomatic at all. And they're limiting the amount of students, the amount of beings in the library to
Beans?
10 individuals total. The housing office, which normally has 3 pro staff on duty, actively there, and they're now rotating 1 person per day. All the buildings have been equipped with disinfecting material, though Casey and I think, are the only ones that are actually disinfecting things.
Well, we are actively disinfecting.
Yeah, but it's just this crazy
Fear?
This crazy fear and panic surrounding it, and this weird painting of almost apocalypse. There's fridges full of half-rotting food, but then right next to it is the fresh groceries of the people that still remain.
Yeah.
The store shelves are empty of preserved goods, rice and canned foods and soups.
Like dried stuff.
Yeah,
too.
Yet all of the fresh produce is still there. We actually got up early this morning and went with Evan to Safeway because I called them on Monday because we went out to get food and there's no food there.
But we didn't. Sorry to cut you off. Just a little side note. We usually stock up on food, as you probably know from other videos if they've posted already. But at this time, we decided not to stock up on a lot of rice like we usually do because we were leaving for Kenya.
Yeah, rice in particular, just because it would be heavy to drive, and where we're going over the summer, we planned on just buying it there. That way we're 20 to 40 pounds lighter on the road. And we didn't buy bulk rice in time, and now there's only the single serving $7 quick meals for people who don't know or don't want to cook. And we're very fortunate that we're paranoid because we have a lot of food. In fact, I think we probably have enough food for 3 months, maybe 4 months.
I would say probably 2 months.
We're fortunate because we have enough food because we had stocked up for the summer.
Except for rice.
And yeah, we're just trying to get food now to minimize our impact on our food stores, so that way we still have enough for the summer if it comes down to that.
Well, we also have packed 2 sizable boxes for summer food specifically.
And also, if it really comes down to it, we have like probably 200 pounds of dog food.
You are insane.
If it comes down to it.
You are no, Ethan. You're gonna just scare people watching this.
We had
This is not college students. This is just Ethan.
My godmother knew somebody growing up who
had to eat dog food.
Who fed her kids dog food.
That is disgusting. What the
Yeah,
heck?
well, I think she went to jail or something. It wasn't acceptable. It wasn't an acceptable thing. It just is something that happened. Anyway,
God.
it's quite frightening to continually get these emails. What I was saying was, we went last weekend to get food, and the shelves were pretty much empty. Also empty from toilet paper, which I don't understand. I just don't get it. Why does everybody feel the need to buy toilet paper, and then it's
causing this cataclysmic domino going downward because somebody bought 50 rolls of toilet paper and now other people need toilet paper because they don't feel the need to buy 50 rolls of toilet paper ahead of time. They go to the store and they can't get any. Or maybe they're living paycheck to paycheck and they can't afford to buy anything in bulk and now they're out of supplies because somebody's hoarded it all.
I think that a lot of college students do go through that because we do live paycheck to paycheck. Although, sure, we're spending thousands of dollars to go to school, it's all in loans. So we're not really spending it, we're just racking up debt.
It's like we're indentured servants, but we have to get our own food.
Well, that got real serious. We do live paycheck to paycheck. There are some people who don't even really have paychecks, who just have their saved up money from summers or from whatever that they have to use, and they have to ration it properly or they'll run out too soon. And I think that as a nation, although it kind of feels that we are trying to stick together, as individuals, we are not. And that is kind of tearing apart the feeling of togetherness that is trying to be created, I think, which is upsetting. And I just wish that people wouldn't feel the need to do that, but they do, nonetheless.
I hope this is also a lesson to a lot of folks. The reason that we have, 25 rolls of toilet paper right now isn't because we actually bought maybe 2 of them for 89 cents at a discount store. The reason we have so much is because every opportunity we have, we save them. A lot of the toilet paper that we have is from where we worked over the summer when people would just throw out whole rolls of toilet paper and we would take it out of the trash to use.
Or the other side of our job, which were the people who were cleaning the boats, you had to renew the toilet paper every time, which was slightly annoying. I understand, but they had to keep renewing it, so that would just be put on this big bin and just usually left or going to be thrown out, so we just took it because we were allowed to, and super wasteful not to, so we have so many rolls. We also have wipes because I like wipes.
I don't get it.
I don't understand why you don't get it.
I
I can't believe that not everybody uses wipes.
One piece of sandpaper lasts me like a month and a half. It's also really interesting because, as usual with life, backpacking offers simple solutions that are often overlooked. So we're looking at getting a pocket bidet eventually.
Not a sponsor.
Pocket bidet, not a sponsor. I don't even know if that's a company. But basically, it's
just tiny.
It's a tiny, I think, shower head that you screw on top of a water bottle and you use that instead of toilet paper. It's much more hygienic. It reduces bacteria in your bumhole, and you're not buying toilet paper. So if you're buying a pack of toilet paper a month, in 2 months, you will have paid for the bidet.
Also, I would just like to say it's not a shower head. That makes it seem very scary.
Well,
it's just this little curved tube that has a slit that closes, and so when you squeeze a water bottle, the slit opens and will spray out where you're aiming it. It's not a scary shower head that's aimed at your butt.
I also wanted to take a moment and talk about what we're doing for you. We're on a 2-week self-quarantine right now.
Viewers like you.
Definitely going to be more than 2 weeks. We're on day like 8 now.
No, I said 32.
Oh yeah, day 32. But actually day
But not.
8 of the quarantine.
Is it?
We've been given emergency housing, so we're in a dorm room, we have a bathroom, we have a kitchen, which is fantastic. And as a backup,
Until they ask us to pay.
Until they ask us to pay, then we will leave immediately.
And we're out.
But we also have the trailer to go to after this. And our car and trailer is set up to run summer operations, so hopefully it'll be okay.
Summer
Anyway,
operations.
what we're doing for you, we have a release schedule right now, Wednesdays at noon and Saturdays at 9 a.m.
Arizona time.
Arizona time, which is mountain time, except without daylight savings time, so that's noon.
Because
for,
Arizona is cool.
During the warmer months, that's noon for you East Coasters out there. But what we're doing right now is we've set everything up to release automatically, as we thought that we would be in the field and wouldn't have access to the internet. So we're set up pretty much until the end of October with auto releases, but
For 2 weeks.
yeah, but we've also been doing some adventures here. We're constantly filming and editing, except now we're almost caught up. So during this period of quarantine, we're going to be releasing videos as often as possible.
Extra videos.
We have some awesome stuff coming. We just released the prospecting video. We have some magnet fishing stuff. Today, actually, in an hour, we're filming with Evan again. We're going to make a short film and then edit it because we have nothing better to do. We actually had a cast of people lined up that wanted to be in it, but then as I sent out the reminder 12 hours beforehand, everybody texted back and said, oh, we're actually leaving tomorrow, which I get it, it's fine, we're not mad at you, but just to give you some gravity in the situation. Also, it's very sad. National Guard has been deployed as of this morning for food banks and grocery stores in Arizona to help combat an active response rather than a reactive response. I never finished my story earlier. I called on Monday to the grocery store to see when more food would be in stock, and they told me specifically 6 a.m. on Friday. So we were there at 6 a.m. when the
6:40 actually.
we were there when the store opened today, which is Friday, and the parking lot was already full of people, the store was already full of people, and there were lines, yet the shelves were bare still. They were the same. So I have no idea why that employee lied to me. If you're watching this video, I will find you.
We also asked the person at one of the registers, and she said, I don't know.
The same store that I called.
Yeah, she said, oh, I don't know. It might be in this aisle. If it's not there, then we don't know.
Yeah, and then she gave me the wrong aisle, and she also said that they're not communicating with their shipment.
I don't believe that.
I think that you're reading too much into this, and you're a little bit getting very upset. I can see this theme coming out.
I'm annoyed because if you don't know, just say you don't know. It's either somebody's lying here.
Oh my god.
Either the employee that told me 6 a.m. on Friday is lying, and by the way, she didn't say, oh, 6 a.m. Friday. She said, oh, hold on 1 second. And then I heard her ask her manager or someone else what time. And she said, Friday. And I said, oh, what time on Friday? She said, oh, 6 a.m. Wait, what were you asking for again? Rice. Specifically rice? Yeah, 6 a.m. Yeah, 6 a.m. Friday. Okay, I'll be there. All right, thanks.
I'm sorry.
Ha, we got him real good, didn't we? The ultimate prank.
I'm sorry that you're going through this hard time in your life.
Also, something else.
Oh my god.
A lot of people are going to the stores and using the self-checkout lines and getting more than what they're paying for, which is great if you're couponing, but it's still theft. And
he doesn't mean couponing is theft. He means people will ring two things up. People will ring one thing up, but actually move two things over and just place them on the floor, making it look like the bagging area is too full to put anything else on top of.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
Just because you're not shoplifting in front of a person and then shoplifting in front of a robot does not mean that it's not shoplifting anymore. It still hurts the economy, or the local economy. I don't think I'd care as much if it was the giant big picture, which it also hurts, but...
Well, it hurts the employees that are working at that
Yeah.
store. You're taking money out of their pockets.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
And it hurts even more at mom and pop shops and smaller businesses. It can be a debilitating blow, especially in these times. It can ruin a business.
Yeah, and
you could prevent, by taking extra food, you can prevent people from having food for themselves and having food for their pets and their children.
Yeah, like I don't understand why you feel people who do that. I don't want to say you because that's aggressive. People who do that, it is very selfish because you're thinking that your needs are more important than someone else's, and they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand it because it's this capitalistic mindset that we each need to survive, and whoever is the smartest, whoever is the most clever will survive, and the others will either have to catch up or they'll perish.
Catch up, not a sponsor.
Capitalistic inferno. Catch up, not a sponsor.
I'm sorry, you were trying to be serious. I'm so sorry about that.
But relating to systems of economy and government, a lot of folks don't have toilet paper right now, and
you're really bent out of shape about this toilet paper.
It's not really about the toilet paper. The toilet paper is just a vessel because it's something that everybody can relate to right now. Everybody can relate to the packing of toilet paper for some reason. But what I'm saying is that with capitalism, everybody is trying to get this toilet paper, and whoever has enough money to be able to afford to stock up, whoever was clever enough to stock up before this all happened, they have the resources that they need now. Under capitalism, everybody would have the same amount of toilet paper and everything would be fine. Same thing with socialism.
I got a little bit confused.
I don't want to make this a government thing.
Yeah, so. No, I got a little bit confused, so for any of you who also got confused,
okay,
we're in the same boat.
I'm literally heated right now. I'm sweating. I'm starting to sweat because I'm so annoyed.
Toilet paper is a serious subject to talk about.
It's not even about the toilet paper. The toilet paper...
I know, you just said... No, it's okay,
it's
you just
said
that.
It's just a concentrated thing. It's actually about everything, but we're only seeing the effects with toilet paper right now, and then it's starting to echo through preserved foods, which, by the way, people still aren't eating healthy. People are still buying frozen meals.
It's okay.
Our food system is not built for this.
We've also been talking about how people are freaking out about this virus because it's like, oh my god, stuff like this never happens. I don't know why people are saying that.
It happens like every 20 years.
Well, a big virus sure happens every like 20 years, but there's little things that happen every few years. It's just what happens. That's what the world does. It's what humans have to go through almost every year of their lives, and I'm just so confused as to why it's insane right now.
Yeah, like
it's not.
That conversation we had with the Maasai, where they bait the Maasai or the people where we were going to be staying in Kenya, but they basically just said we've always handled these kinds of things without medicine, without outside help, and it's always been okay, so we don't know why everybody's so scared this time.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely either political or racial on purpose. I don't know who follows President Donald Trump or political, what is the word, information.
Which, by the way, he's responding incredibly well and very articulately.
By counting. Two very big words.
What I'm trying to say is, what am I saying? Ugh! I mean, if you see Trump talk about it, he will say, like, the Chinese virus.
So does Fox News.
He calls it the Wuhan virus or whatever else, and it's really upsetting. And it's not upsetting because he's calling anybody out. He's not calling anybody out. Sure, that's where it was found for the first cases, but that doesn't mean that's where it was made. It's very likely that, something happened and it happened there, yes, but that's where the cases were. And there were a lot of people from Asia. I'm not sure which way is correct, so I'm sorry if neither of those were correct. But people from Asia have been profiled in the U.S. Before the quarantine started, before people were actually really scared about it. Just Asians were profiled. And people were scared to be near them because they heard about this mysterious virus that all Asian people have, and they don't. And stuff like that is really upsetting, especially when the president of an entire nation says stuff like that and just shows other people that you can be racist too, because you can't. Well, technically you can, but you shouldn't be. That's not what this is about. This should be a time for all of us to get together. And we learned stuff like this in our classes. Like, we actually had conversations just like this before the virus in our class that was preparing us for going to the Masai Mara in Kenya. And it's just really upsetting that not everyone has this type of education. And I am not actually making this any political thing, and I'm not calling out conservatives or liberals in any way. I don't think that that's right.
Yeah, let's look past the parties.
Yeah, exactly. I've never considered myself any party, and for any of you who don't know, there are more than two, but I've never considered myself any party because I consider everyone a human being, and I don't mean to say that to be annoying. It's just, we should all get together and go through this together in every sense of the word, in every possible scenario. We should get through it together. And it's just, I'm not calling out any party. I'm not saying one is worse than the other. I'm not saying the people who associate with one are worse or less educated. I'm saying people in general are not very educated about everything right now, and it's very frustrating. Sorry about that whole political spiel right there. But just as a wrap up, being a college student right now is both scary and sad. It's very sad to see everyone just up and leaving, especially when I feel that something like this is not as big of a deal as it's made out to be right now. And yes, we should be taking precautions. It's sad and scary. I want to be with my family, but I also know that I shouldn't leave right now because it's going to be very distracting to do work there. I still have school. I still have to get these credits or else I'm not graduating on time. And I also know that going to the East Coast right now is not going to be the best for me or for the people there. And it's really sad to think about that. But also, as a college student, you get to find a lot of stuff that people are leaving around. We kind of have a fairly empty house to live in. Kitchen is hardly being used because nobody's really here. I mean, it's both a cool and interesting time to be alive and to be a college student, but it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah. I think another thing that a lot of people are worried about is that in these houses, in these dorm houses, there's more responsibility because people are leaving. There's less people to clean up after themselves, less people to take out the trash. But for us, it doesn't really matter because we're the only ones that do that anyway.
Well, it's not we got into this house and it was
terrible.
An insane mess.
They had a laundry bin with a lid on it, sealable laundry bin, with dirty dishes because there was a housing inspection 2 months ago in January.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that that's probably the most frustrating thing, too. I know this was supposed to be a wrap-up, I'm sorry. But that was the most frustrating thing, that people left for spring break, didn't clean up a thing, and then didn't come back to clean up their things.
Yeah.
And now people are leaving and not cleaning up their things yet again.
Yeah, but a good thing out of that is that they've also left moldy food in the fridge, so you just cut off the mold and then you can eat it.
Depending on the food. Don't take that advice for everything, please.
I mean...
No. If it's a strawberry, compost it, please. Don't eat the strawberry. If it's produce in any way, for the most part, compost it. Don't eat. Stop.
We have different views on this, clearly. A few quick awesome things. The environment is changing for the better. Probably temporarily, but hopefully not. China's air is in the green. Venice has fish and swans returning, and you can actually see to the bottom of the canals. I really encourage you to look up photos of that. It's absolutely beautiful, and it gives you an insight as to what the canals used to look like. Additionally, the second person ever was cured of HIV in the UK.
I did not know that. Oh, wait, I remember that.
Just fantastic. I encourage you to look up awesome, happy news right now, because all we're hearing is terrible, terrible headlines, and it's really great to be able to cheer yourself up.
And watch The Tonight Show. Jimmy Fallon is doing it right from his home every night.
Mm-hmm. And if you're feeling lost or alone, I encourage you to go to your library if it's still open. If it's not still open, check if they have book rentals, or even look online and check out some 17th and 18th century journals, because plagues have always been a normal thing throughout human history, and it's refreshing to see it from a different viewpoint, because in these older journals, it's not an attitude of this is the apocalypse as news channels have today, because they need to keep you continually coming back to watch more news, to read more articles, and if you think things are bad, you're going to keep coming back for updates. So I encourage you to read these old journals, because instead of this apocalyptic attitude, they have an attitude of this too shall pass. This happened when I was a kid. It's happening again. It'll happen again when I'm old. It might take me, but this is just a part of life, as it is today. But we tend to forget that in the modern age, because we hide through the veil of modern medicine, which is great.
What a nice quote.
It's extending lives, but it's also making us blind to facets of reality that are just part of being human, and viruses, plagues, and sicknesses are one of them.
Symptoms.
And symptoms. If you're sick, pay attention to your body. This is your body's response to things, even if it's not the coronavirus that you have, even if you just have a cold, and even if it's not during this, if you're watching this video sometime later, if you're sick, embrace it, feel your body changing and reacting to the virus or whatever sickness that you have, because our bodies are built to endure these things. Sometimes we lose that battle, but as humans, we are built to survive and to overcome these things. And the same way that you can feel your body feeling great after eating food, after drinking water, after exercising, feel your body processing what's happening right now, even mentally, if you're not sick. Another great resource is John Townsend. I think their YouTube channel name is just Townsend's right now. My favorite YouTube channel. But
this really cute old man.
Yeah, they just put out a video called Hope on the Horizon, and it's about plagues throughout history with a positive outlook, which is refreshing. Honestly, I love John. John, if you're watching this.
Please watch it. I also just want to add on to that, another thing to do in times of distress and quarantine, something that really helps me is essential oils. Number one, just putting it on, pressure points on your body and taking deep breaths and allowing it to help you. I use frankincense and lavender for stuff like that, specifically. But aside from that, reach out. I know that even if you are also a college student and your friends are leaving, reach out to people. Call them, even if it's weird to call them, because it's not. And it's just a mindset that we have that it is weird. And we can break that. But reach out to people, even if it's a text and scheduling a call, which might seem weird to you at first, but maybe it's something that they need too. Reach out to your family. If you have family that you want to reach out to, I guess. I'm really just trying to say reach out to people, because it's hard to be quarantined. It's hard to have the motivation to do anything. I'm really struggling with that, which is why I'm making things like this hat. This is for my brother, but if he doesn't like it, I'm gonna sell it. But see, just stuff like that is fun. Do stuff like that. If you need tips, I mean, you can watch our videos, but you can also actually reach out to us. We will respond to you.
Yeah.
And I know that, I'm so sorry, we don't have a lot of viewers or subscribers as of yet, but I'm just saying you can. No matter how many of you it is, you really can reach out and ask for ideas. You can even ask me for a tutorial or something on these, and I will do it and get it out to you tomorrow. So just reach out to people. Be there for others, and look up what Ethan was just talking about, and stay in the moment, and, you know, be with yourself for once. Take this time to actually be with yourself and to understand yourself better.
It's very easy to get lost in the
Chaos?
The chaos and blanket of the internet right now. I encourage you to get out of bed, get off the couch, do some exercising, even if it's just jumping jacks in your own living room, because if you're sitting there watching YouTube or Netflix or whatever you like to do all day, if it's on a screen, it'll take you over. And there have been numerous studies before this all happened that is one of the main causes of depression, is a lack of hobbies and a lack of companionship, a lack of activity. So go seek that out, call your friends, do things that you enjoy. If you don't know what you like, try out new hobbies.
And ask people for advice on what to try as well.
Once again, what we're doing for you, we're going to be pushing out as many videos as we can during this quarantine period. That may not look like a video every day, but for the next few days at least, it definitely will be one video every day for y'all. And we will have some more work-saturated videos coming down the road, some more polished products rather than videos of us talking or tutorials. We have some fiction, I guess you could say.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully very enjoyable for you to watch. It's already been fun to write. We're filming it today, maybe editing some of it today. I won't spoil anything else, but you'll have to come back to check. Please subscribe if you'd like to see that or anything coming up that we have soon. And pretty soon you'll be able to see the rest of our road trip, as well as a bunch of our trailer renovations coming up. Always remember that plastic is evil.
In your everyday lives.
And remember, you don't need more toilet paper if you already have a bunch. Please, stop. We'll see you next time.